Welcome to Unbusy On Purpose, the podcast for small business owners who are over the hustle, the overwhelm, and that constant pressure to always be doing more. If your business feels like it's running you instead of the other way around, consider this your wake-up call. Here, we're going to slow it down, cut through the chaos, and actually take back control. I'm your host, Lucy Carter, and I'll be sharing real stories to help you feel less alone and practical tips that won't scramble your brain even more than it already is. Every week, I'll be here to remind you that by reconnecting with yourself, focusing on what really matters, and taking aligned action, you can have a business that fuels your life instead of draining it. No fluff, no guilt, just straight up guidance to help you feel confident, in control, and actually enjoy the ride of small business ownership. So go grab your coffee or your wine, there's no judgment here. Take a deep breath and finally give yourself permission to do business your way. Well, first episode of Unbusy On Purpose, guys. Thank you for joining me. I actually had this all kind of mapped out on what I was going to say and what the podcast was going to be about, but something told me today that I just needed to follow my intuition and kind of talk about the things that I feel need to be spoken about today and not necessarily what I think need to be spoken about. So before doing this, I actually did my oracle cards just to kind of guide me on what needed to be said and what I need to share with the world. And it's actually quite interesting because I feel like there's been a collective this year, a collective energy this year around, massive shifts, huge transformations, really big pivotal moments for people. And a lot of it has been quite stressful and traumatic for a lot of people. I'm hearing it constantly. I'm seeing it constantly on social media where it's just like, this year is freaking wild. Like it's been a roller coaster. And if any of you have followed my journey, you would know that that has been that exact thing for me. So as a brief synopsis, back in May, my partner actually had a cardiac arrest. He died twice, but thankfully the angels that were there at the time saved his life, and he is doing really well in his recovery. But also just around that same time, about 2 or 3 weeks later after, or 3 weeks later after my partner Stefan had kind of recovered from that and got home and was recovering at home, I had to fly to the UK because my dad was severely unwell and dying, and unfortunately passed away a week after I got there. And there's been lots of family drama, and yeah, it's been a really, really hard 6 months. And also transformational 6 months. Like, you can't go through something like that and not be transformed in some way. And I actually heard or saw a post, I think, where it talks about grief, and it said grief will either make you bitter or it will make you better. And I think I have taken my grief and made me better. It's made me better, and I've made myself better. And there's been moments where I could have gone bitter, but I've really tried to focus on healing and doing things for the right reasons, right? So today, I think the message of this podcast needs to be around healing before we move into this next phase, and actually looking at ourselves as those unhealed people, as those unhealed children, as those, we all have an inner child, right? So we all need to take care of that inner child, and we don't. We are so rushed into things and told we, just need to get on with it. And you feel like you're a burden to people. And, when you're going through something quite highly stressful and highly traumatic, and that doesn't have to be that you're dealing with grief. It could be that, you are in a financial struggle, or you're going through a divorce, or whatever it is, in and amongst life and business. It's like, how do we connect back to us? How do we make good choices and aligned choices, even though we've got all this stuff coming at us, and even though we're trying to deal with it? It's like, we can't just keep soldiering on and pretending we're okay. And the message I really, really want to put out there today is that you've got to tend to your own garden before you push and put everything out there for everyone else. And if I didn't do that for myself, I wouldn't be showing up here today. And a similar thing is happening with my sister. She's just pushing, 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 and coming up against a lot of resistance, and not necessarily resistance in her business, but resistance within herself and with the things around her, because she's just not tending to her own emotional garden, right? And that takes us back to our inner child, our inner wounds, because whenever we are triggered by something, whenever something feels tough, something feels hard or sad or stressful, we go to a place where we feel not protected. So then we end up in fight or flight mode. And that's never going to end well. Being in fight or flight will never end well, and it will never, ever give you the outcome that you want and need in this lifetime. So that is definitely something I feel everyone is feeling at the moment. They're feeling a little bit lost, a little bit hurt, and a little bit tired, actually. A lot of all of those things. And it's just time that we take a step back and we actually go, hold on a moment. I need to look after me so I can be XYZ for this thing or this person or this situation, right? So if you are dealing with a situation where you are feeling under pressure, under the pump, feeling like nothing's going right, nothing is working, you are putting all the hours in and feeling like you're getting nothing back apart from stress, then it's time that you looked at what you're doing and how you can remove certain things from your life and clear the path so that you can achieve the things you want to achieve. And if you have gone through something like I've been through, where it has been quite traumatic, then you change as a person. You fully are not the same person, let me tell you. And you have to evolve and you have to level up. So the only way I can explain it, and the vision I'm getting as I'm saying this, is imagine you're like a seed that's been planted in the ground, and you know you need to grow. You know the season's changing, things are changing, but there's just things trampling all over you, like, I don't know, cattle or whatever. Like, there's just, and it's ruining the soil. It's just like, it's not allowing you to grow. That's what these situations are. But they're temporary. Eventually, that cattle will move on. Those people will move on. That situation will move on. I hope you're following me here. But like, as soon as they're gone, then you'll be able to grow and do what you're needed here, what you're supposed to do. But that takes patience, and that takes sitting there with yourself, loving yourself, and still being like, I'm going to grow. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But you're still doing the things you need to do. You're still, when it rains, you're still taking in the water. Like, and that is essentially what the time is now for that. If you haven't already started it, the time is now for you to take in the nutrients, take in the things that you need in order to push yourself out of the soil, so then you can actually bloom and grow, and the sun can beam on you and make you feel like your true self, that you're supposed to be. I hope that made sense, because that was like, I just saw the vision. I was like, I have to say it. I don't know. So that's kind of the sense I'm getting, and that's how I have felt. And that's how I felt during that time. But just know that even though I've gone through all of that and had, like, I didn't think the end was in sight. I literally didn't at the time. It was just like, this is just like relentless, one thing after the other. But there is an end to that cycle. The lesson will always be there. But if you can evolve and grow out of that and really, really take that on board to help you grow through what you go through, right? I hope this is making sense because, like I said, I haven't mapped this out. I am just verbal diarrheaing stuff right now. So that was the first card that I pulled. It was all about that. It was all about allowing ourselves to nurture that pain, that suffering, that little child within us that needs protection and needs help and needs love, and giving yourself the time and allowing yourself the time and the space to breathe, take a minute, because if you're stressing about your business going to pot, like, I can't take 5 minutes, like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Like, you can take 5 minutes, you can take half an hour, you can take a day just to go, who am I? What am I feeling here? What is going on? If you can do longer, brilliant. But take what you can, like, just take every single moment you can get. If you're washing up the dishes, take a minute, breathe while you're washing the dishes. Look outside, look at the trees, like, slow things down so you can take everything in, feel everything, so you can then evolve and grow. And that brings me to the next card, which is, it's called the crowning. The first card was called the child within. And a big thing I took from this card and what I need to share with you is trusting ourselves in this process. This is now, once you pause, once you give yourself that time and that space, once you nurture whatever's going on and actually give yourself some grace around that, this is where you can start initiating what it is you need to be doing. And this is actually where I'm at. I'm in this initiation phase. I've gone through this whole, like, being stampeded on and needing to grow, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet, and I can't because there's all this stuff. And now I'm in this phase of this journey, this rebirth, so to speak, where I can now initiate what it is I need to do and who I need to be. And I'm still feeling a little bit on edge about stuff because I haven't fully figured out who I am past, like, since everything's happened. I haven't fully figured that out. And in all honesty, I don't know if I ever fully will figure it out because we are forever changing, forever evolving. Things happen to us all the time. Things change all the time. And we're constantly just, moving the wheels and just rolling with it. And I think that's the biggest lesson here is we need to be more present. You need to be more present. I need to be more present. And we need to just be. Like, this is where you are starting to bloom. This is where things get good. This is where you're starting to feel better because your energy has shifted. You're not in that dark space anymore. You're now here. And here means you have got the light, you've got the sunlight, you've got things like helping you, making you feel good. This is where you need to take action. What is it in that time that you've had where you've paused, where you've had where you've figured out, okay, this is actually, that didn't work for me. Now I need to try this. This is where this feels a bit better. So maybe for an example, like for me personally, the Alchemy Collective is my other business that I created, and it's always been there. Like, I've never let it go, although I don't really know where it's going. And I feel like I can keep it there, but I feel like as well sometimes we do need to close the door on certain things. And I don't know, this is it. I don't know where I'm at with it, but I know that this podcast and there's a few other things in the pipeline that are calling me and feeling more like me and are exciting me. So I will get there and make a decision, but at the moment I'm sort of in that limbo stage. But I know that this is a path that I need to take. I need to share my message however it comes across, and I need to be open with my story, my journey, as much as I possibly can be in order to help and heal others. So I know that that is what what my purpose is right now, and I need to be in the present moment to be able to give that to you guys and give it to myself. So I'm a walking progress in action person at the moment, and you're seeing this in pretty much real time. Um, and I mean, I've shared a bit about my story of like what happened with like my partner and my dad and everything. And I don't need to go into full details, but like from that you can kind of get that it was pretty rough. And I'm still going through some certain things family wise after my dad's death and everything. So it's not ended, and I'm still feeling very fragile in certain areas, but I have built strength in that time that I was like processing and pausing, and yeah, now I'm just kind of working through it to initiate what I need to do and need to be here for. And I feel like I've just kind of entered this phase, to be honest. So stay with me and see what happens. And a question you can ask yourself in this phase, actually, I'll go back. So the phase of like, if you're in the phase of feeling like you're being trampled on and feeling like things are just really hard and you can't catch a break and can't catch a breath, then ask yourself, how can you, I mean, I want to say this differently, but I'll just read what it says. It says, how can you tenderly tend the child within? So what I take from that is how can you protect yourself? How can you come back to yourself? How can you soften and be like, God, like I'm actually doing it rough here and I'm really not feeling good. I'm going to take a minute, and I'm going to take a minute to figure out how I'm feeling and how to process those feelings and how to help myself. So in that time, it could be that you need to go to therapy. It could be that you need to go meditate. It could be that you need to stop smoking. It could be that you need to stop drinking. It could be that you need to leave a relationship, leave a job. Like, what is it that you can do in that time to actually like protect yourself and make yourself better, make yourself feel better? Like, and it could be not as dramatic as like getting a divorce, but like, you know, it could be, do I need to go be out in nature more? Do I need to go for morning walks? Do I need to meditate? What can you do to nurture yourself and nurture that inner self, that inner child? Because that's what's hurting right now. That's what's feeling like I'm not good enough. I can't do this. This is too hard. I don't think I'm ever going to get through this. All of those thoughts and feelings, that's not you now talking, because you've just gone through what you've gone through, or you're going through what you're going through, and you're still standing, but your head is going back to this wounded child that you've been at some stage, or hearing a voice in your head. Maybe it's your mum, maybe it's your dad, like, you're not good enough, or stop doing that, and you can't do this. Like, maybe it's that. So work on that and work on building that self-esteem back up. And to do that, you need to pause. To do that, you need to really take a step back. So that's a question you can ask yourself. And then if you're in the phase that I'm in, which is now this like, I'm now growing, I'm now evolving, I'm now initiating what it is I need to do, you can ask yourself, the book says, how is life trying to initiate you? So maybe it's a case of being in the present, right? Being in the present moment and really listening to your instincts and going, what is the universe, God, whatever you want to call it? What is this trying to teach me? What is this showing me? What am I needing to do here? What am I wanting to do here? Because at this point you should feel a little bit of a sense of peace and a bit of sense of calm. Now you've gone through all of that. So ask yourself, what is the universe trying to show me here? What can I do? How can I listen to myself? What is it that I need? What is it that I want? Because if you don't listen to that and you just Trojan on through, you're going to end up back in the beginning phase, right? Where it feels shit. And then the last card, this is where, this is called the Sun card, and this is all about joy, enjoyment, success, vitality, play. And I feel like this is that next level, and I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the next level, and I'm really trying to embrace more play, more relaxation in my life, and not feel so pressured. Like, even doing this podcast, I've set a date. I've put a date on it. It has to be done. Oh, it's 11/11. Oh, sorry, 1/11. I was like, I want it launched on the 15th of December. And there's been moments I've procrastinated doing it, and I'm like, oh, this feels too hard. Even today, I'm like, oh, what am I going to talk about? And now I've got to say stuff, and I don't know what to say. But hey ho, I'm doing it anyway. I'm initiating, and by doing this and continually doing the things that are lining me up, even if it feels a little bit clunky, even if it feels a little bit tricky, I will eventually be able to reap the rewards of that and feel that full-blown sunshine, feel that happiness, feel that glory, feel all of that stuff. That's the end goal, right? For anyone, like, not just me. Like, that's all we're seeking, is that sense of freedom and vitality and being able to just, live life to our fullest. We need that sense of fun and play, and not, being at work all the time and stressing out. And it's there. It's there, and it's there for everyone. It's there if you want it. And like I said at the beginning, grief or turmoil, it will either make you bitter or make you better. Choose to make yourself and your life better. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, we can either let something really throw us off course and just feel sorry for ourselves the whole entire time and never get out of that and have nothing change, even though we've changed. Or you can roll with it. You can ride those waves, and eventually you get to the shore. And that's where I'm at. That's the journey I'm on. I'm heading for the shore. I'm heading for that enlightenment. I'm heading for that, like, something's going to give if I keep doing the stuff that I love doing, and keep working on the things that I love working on, and really protect my peace. Then something good's got to come out of that. Can't not. It can't not. So my message to you is, take space, create peace, align back in with you, who you are in yourself, and then take the action. Then move forward with it. Because eventually you will have that peace and happiness that you're so, 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 so needing and wanting, and your business will thrive, and your balance in life and business will just be great. And once you know the patterns of this, it doesn't become as scary. Like, now I can see it for what it is. It's like, this is just a journey. Something else might come up in my life where I have to deal with a stressful event, and now I am aware of how to kind of work through it. It'll be different, but I'll have to work through it, You can't predict the future. You can't predict what's going to happen. That's why we have to be more in our present. We have to be more in the present, because you can't predict it. And being in too far in the future or too far in the past just gives us anxiety, and we create from a really unauthentic place. But being in the present means you are really, really connected with yourself, and really, really connected with what it is you want and what it is you don't want. So I hope this made sense today. I'm probably going to leave it there. But if anyone has any comments or any questions about what I've spoken about today, I'm always going to be there in the comments. So please leave a comment. Please like this podcast, follow it wherever you're watching it. I'd really appreciate it. I really, really want to share these messages with everyone. Not necessarily just small business owners, but it's really at the moment it's a very collective. A lot of people have gone through a lot of shit this year, and if I can help in any way from my own journey, then that's what I'm here to do. Love you and leave you guys. Have a lovely rest of your day, or night, whatever time you're watching this, listening to this, and I'll speak to you all soon.